Most High and His Son Yahweh Shai, where the Battle Axes of the Most High, come back to you on a Thursday morning class of time to stop playing the games. I hope everybody doing okay that's up right now, and I know that's getting ready for the plantation or whatnot. Today's title will be Don't Fold, Endure, because I know a lot of times, a lot of people in this truth, they tend to get faint-hearted or whatnot, because they're like, hey, the Most High God, He not doing nothing for me. Well, the Most High God, He's always going to be like an on-time God or whatnot. Not on your time, but on His own time, because He know how much a man can bear or whatnot. So the first precept we're going to go ahead and get is Sirach 2 and 1. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So he letting us know off the rip that if you gonna serve me, prepare your heart for temptation. Because even when we look back in our history or whatnot, we know Moses went through things, we know Noah went through things or whatnot, and we know Adam went through things, man. But when it come down to us, I guess since we just now learning about who we are again, we think that we ain't got to go through anything or whatnot. Christ even went through things, and He didn't do no sin. So what that tell you? We're gonna go ahead and go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. There had no temptation taken you, but such is common to man. So in this verse right here, it's letting you know that everybody go through things, man. So all that woe is me, y'all need to stop that, man. Y'all need to take these things cheerfully, which is whenever we keep on reading Sirach, it's gonna let us know that. But it says, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So the Most High God, He ain't gonna put nothing more on you than what you can bear. He know you. He made you in the womb, man. He knew you before the womb or whatnot. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So anytime you're going through anything or whatnot, the Most High God, He's always gonna make a way to escape, because that's just what type of God He is. He only for us. So like anytime I'm talking about, hey, ain't nobody went through what Job went through. And you see Job, he didn't curse God to his face. So if anybody going through what Job is going through, let me know, man. But you need to endure that thing at the same time. Next precept we're going to go ahead and go to is, we can go back to Sirach. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. So it says constantly endure, meaning, hey, forever, as long as you live it, man. And like, make not haste in time of trouble or whatnot. Because anytime like you feel like you down and out or whatnot, that's when you pray. That's when you fast. That's when you talk to another brother, confess your faults one to another. Or any of these things, man, because the Most High God, He always sets things up to where, hey, He'll always keep us on our toes or whatnot. That's why He said two are better than one, because when one brother falls, the one can lift him back up. Verse 3, cleave unto Him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So it said cleave unto the Most High God, because He'll fight for us, as long as you keeping His commandments, of course. Because even when you go to, I wasn't going to get it right now, but might as well, Matthew 24 and 13. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So like even how Sirach, you talking about even until the last end or whatnot, it say he that endured to the end in Matthew shall be saved or whatnot. So if you already like being faint-hearted and you already trying to give up, how you expect to make it to the kingdom, man? How do you expect to rule this place or rule over these nations or any of this if you gonna keep on complaining and just talking about woe is me or whatnot? Well, we finna go back to Sirach though. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. I'll read that again. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. So even whenever you have a loved one that passes on or whatnot, I mean, yeah, in the scriptures it do say like mourn for a time or whatnot. But after that, hey, you gotta let that go because ultimately we know who did it. We know that the Most High God He did it. But He also said take that thing cheerfully, because some people, whenever they lose a loved one or they going through any type of thing, hey, they grasp onto that and they'll never let it go. And then next thing we know, they in the grave because they couldn't let go of that simple thing and they didn't endure and take it cheerfully, should I say. That thou mayest be increased, or no, verse 4 from the top. Whatsoever is brought up on thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So, hey, even when you at your lowest, man, it says be patient, because that's another thing that our people lack in. We lack patience. Most High God, He always been patient with us. I'm talking about from all the way when we was in sin to even now. Because hey, He sent His Son, and that's where our grace came in there. But it's not always gonna be there because grace is measured. So if you're gonna keep on complaining and talking about this, that, and the third, or you're gonna be lukewarm or whatnot because you feel like the Most High God ain't gonna do it, help you out or whatnot, what you doing it for? But verse 5. Yeah. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Because we are that gold that's tried in the fire, man. Because even going back to the point with Christ, Christ went through all these things or whatnot. So we are made in the Most High God's image, and we are His people, and we are related to Christ. So therefore, we gonna go through those things too. But let's get a precept on that. What's that? 1 Corinthians 3 and 13. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare, because it shall be revealed by fire. So they can go into like a double fold. It can either go into a person that was in his truth or whatnot, or that's not in his truth, and they go to the lake of fire, or it can go into like the times that we're always going through things. The Most High God trying us in that fire, because at the end, even when you look at the actual element of gold or whatnot, like you gonna keep on putting it in the furnace until it burns all like the substances and stuff that's on it, until like it's that pure gold. That's what the Most High God, He's trying to convert us back to like we once was or whatnot. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. So whatever work you put into this truth, whether it was good or whether it's bad, that's what you're gonna be basically revealed by fire from, man. But let's go back to Sirach. One second, Israel. Okay, that was a precept I was gonna get that I had missed. Let's go ahead and get it right now. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua. So you can precept that with whatsoever is brought up on thee, take cheerfully in verse 4, of course. Because all these we all say that we are soldiers, especially in Christianity. They say hey, we a soldier in the Most High God's army, but y'all ain't ready to go through anything. Because as soon as something happens to y'all crack under pressure, man. Meanwhile, there's people that's out here that's going through things that's 10 times harder than y'all. But at the same time, y'all doing that to yourself because y'all give all y'all money to them pastors, man. And they breaking y'all or whatnot. And then as soon as you try to ask for it or ask for help or whatnot, they be like, just pray on it, bro. So that right there should let you know that, hey, they full of you know what. But let's go ahead and go back to Sirach. Verse 6. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. So even going into the class that I had brought out last week or the week before, believing is an action word, because the way you show the Most High God that you believe in him is by keeping his laws, of course. And that's really like something that he left with us as well, his laws, because those things comfort us as well. He said, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. So anytime you ask the Most High God for something, of course, if you keeping his commandments, you ain't got nothing to worry about, because you know he's gonna fight for you. He said, hey, in Exodus 14:14, he said, and the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace or whatnot. Next verse. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. So the precept I got with that is James 5:7. Go ahead and get it. It's the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and had long patience for it, until he received the early and latter rain. So this is going into our patience or whatnot, because endurance and patience really goes into the same thing, because you can't have one without the other, man. Verse 9 from the top. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good. Hope for good. Am I right? Yeah, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Yeah. So yeah, let's go back to verse 10 on Sirach. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So like the Most High God is telling us, like, look at the generations of old or whatnot. Like even when we looking at what Adam, when we looking at Noah, when we looking at Moses, when we looking at Nehemiah, so on and so forth. All these prophets and like our forefathers, they all endured some type of chastity and whatnot, or they went through some type of temptation, should I say? And they all endured it, because the Most High God, he always brought them through. So let's get Deuteronomy 32:7. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. So even when you looking at, like, we know that we just now getting, the truth back on the earth or whatnot. It's been around, but, as far as our people, you do have our elders that have wisdom or whatnot. It says, ask them. Or like even in the spiritual sense, ask the forefathers that's in this Bible or whatnot. And they will tell you, and they will show you the signs of the Most High God or whatnot, or what he did for them. And we know that ain't no other God out here doing that, but, the Most High God, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh. So going back to Sirach, chapter 11, well, verse 11. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. So even when you think our hope is lost or whatnot, the Most High God, he's always going to save you in your time of affliction. Because we know the Most High God, he said he's a man that he should not lie. And we know he changed not. Because he said that he's always going to be there for us. And so far, he didn't break his word or whatnot. And he won't break his word, because it says it in his word that he's a man that he shouldn't lie. What I got for that? Let's get Psalms 103 and verse 8. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 8. Because we know the book of Psalms was written by King David. And we know King David went through a whole lot too, man. From even when he had sinned, where he lost his son. He was burned with the disease. He had to kill a whole lot of people or whatnot. But we know the whole book of Songs is him repenting or whatnot, and him like mourning to the Lord about his enemies or whatnot, asking the Most High God could He bring destruction on them, man, because they were vexing His spirit. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 8. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. So basically saying the same thing that he's saying in Sirach. The Most High God, He's always going to be having mercy on us. Well, for those that keep His commandments, of course, because you got to keep reiterating that, because everybody think, hey, I can live my life how I want it or whatnot, and He'll still have mercy on me. He just might, because, according to Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, but know your end is going to be destruction, man. You're going to be in that lake of fire. But let's go ahead and go back to Sirach. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that go with two ways. So, first precept I'm going to go ahead and get on that is the classic, 2 Timothy 1 and 7. It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7. For God had not given us the spirit of fear, because a lot of people, they fear men or whatnot. And the Most High God said, woe to them that have fearful hearts or whatnot, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So the only person that we really supposed to be fearing is the Most High God, because even going to Exodus 20 or whatnot, the Most High God said He a jealous God. So if you fearing anything else other than Him, He gonna have an issue with that. And He said, woe unto you, destruction. Verse 12 from the top of Sirach chapter 2. Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that go with two ways. So let's go ahead and go to James 1 and 6 as well. Because this can go into the sinner that's going two ways or whatnot. It's the book of James chapter 1 and verse 6. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So even whenever you have faint hands or whatnot, that's your faith wavering or whatnot, because you say that you have a whole lot of faith or whatnot and that you believe in them. But according to your actions or whatnot and the way that you carry yourself whenever you go through these things, it's not showing that. So basically, you're being a liar or whatnot, because you're being tossed to and fro or whatnot. Verse 7, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. Because even when you throwing up your prayers or whatnot, they ain't being heard, because, again, your faith is not there. And you think in your mind that the Most High God is going to answer it. But according to verse 7, it said, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. So if you wavering or whatnot, the Most High God said, don't even put it in your mind to think that you finna have anything or whatnot that you ask Him, because you're not putting forth that action of having your faith. Talking about having faith as a grain of mustard seed, man, and that's a small seed, and a lot of our people don't even have that. Verse 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So that's going into that sinner that goes two ways or whatnot. You're like, okay, I believe in the Lord on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I don't believe in Him, because He didn't answer my prayers. He didn't give me that Cadillac Escalade that I wanted. He didn't give me that big house that I wanted or whatnot. So then you get the tripping or whatnot. You become a Revelations 3 and 15. We can go ahead and get that for edification. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So, because like a lot of people, whenever it come down to endurance or whatnot, that's also a reason why they can't endure, because they being lukewarm. They in this truth and they out the truth or whatnot. What, like Yara was saying, what, 60% in the world, 40% out of in the truth or whatnot, or have the ratio may go. But let's go ahead and go back to Sirach. Sirach chapter 13. Well, verse 13 of chapter 2. Woe unto you, woe unto him that is faint hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. So when it say he believeth not, it's going into like, going into your faith, and he's also not keeping the law or whatnot like he should be. Verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience. Read that again. Woe unto you that have lost patience. Because that's I told you, like even back in when I was explaining earlier whatnot, you gotta have patience in this thing, because it's like a key thing as well as enduring. It's like two peas in a pie or whatnot. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? So you talking about that you in the truth or whatnot, and your actions ain't showing or whatnot. What you gonna do when the Most High God come back? Verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. So we know the fear of the Lord, of course, is Psalms 111 and 10. And they that love him will keep his ways. So we know loving him is, 1 John 5 and 3, John 14 and 15, so on and so forth or whatnot. And verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. So we know that both of those things is going into, keeping the laws or whatnot. Shalom, not. Yeah, appreciate that. I'll praise. But it says that love him shall be filled with the law or whatnot. So yeah, we gotta have this law as well as having faith or whatnot, believing, because all these things revert straight back to that or whatnot. Next precept we're gonna get is we can go back to Sirach. Really, we'll finish it out. Verse 17. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. So even when you are like serving the Most High God, always be humble, man. And in your souls, and like in his sight or whatnot. Because a lot of people, they be like, I did this by myself or whatnot. But then as soon as you go through something, Most High God, he laughing at your calamity, because he like, all right, you did this, well, do this, man, because I'm finna put this on you or whatever else that's going on in your life or whatnot. Saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. Because, again, like we know the Most High God, he's always going to fight for us. And we can get that account in Judah, 5 and 20. Because even the heathen know what the Most High God is going to do for his people or whatnot, that's, serving him. This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So he's saying, if we ain't serving the Most High God, if we ain't enduring in this truth, or enduring any type of hardship that the Most High God is putting on us, hey, they know that this is be our ruin or whatnot. But verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by. So they're saying, but if we constantly enduring, we keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, let us go ahead and pass by, as well as their Lord or whatnot. Lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. So they know that destruction is going to come to them as long as we keep on enduring and keep on believing, having faith, and so on and so forth. But hey, with that I say shalom. I know at the Battle Axes we always say that we give a law, keep us up sharp on our law game or whatnot. Well, yeah, that's the word. The law that we're gonna get is Leviticus 20 and 23. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhor them. So the Most High God, that's in His law. It's saying that we shouldn't be walking out like after these other nations or whatnot, because all these things they're doing is vanity. It's against them, and because they do that, He abhor them. So what that tell you? If you celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate your birthdays, if you're whoring out the sisters, if you into interracial marriage, a homosexual, so on and so forth, the Most High God, He hates you too, because He say, "I love them that love me," and He also say that I hated the sin and the sinner or whatnot. But with that, I say shalom. I hope everybody out there that's getting ready for work, y'all endure and have patience, and deal with your brothers and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. With that, I say shalom.